Good morning, Wadsworth. I'm Janie Parrish from the Wadsworth Area Chamber of Commerce, along with my stunningly winning partner, Michael Reynolds from the Post. Good morning.
Good morning, Janie.
Now, we have to say why we're winners.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You want to hold up the...
When I came in this morning, I said, we're wieners. Yeah. Okay, so this beautiful plaque was given to us last night at the Clapper Awards, and the reason that we got that is, can you read that?
We had the second most amount of hits over the course, for a series over the course of last year on all of WCTV. So thank you to all of our viewers for clicking and watching and putting up with us for another year.
And you know what? Now I think we should get a makeup artist.
Oh, well, you know, I'll tell you that part of the problem, I was a couple minutes behind coming in here. I was looking for my parking space, outside that might have been marked. But I forgave him that. Now I don't understand why the bowl of only red-wrapped Reese's cups that you asked for wasn't out there. Joanna had the mixed ones, but she's slipping a little. She didn't read that line in the contract, I think.
Yeah, because we're Diva and Devo now.
Yes, and now they might have a problem where they might lose you to another station. You know, I heard it from a friend of a friend of a friend who once had breakfast with someone and traded a tuna sandwich for a box of Ho-Hos. That they had a friend that was on the call between President Trump and President Zelensky. And,
where did you get this stuff?
And President Zelensky inquired, supposedly,
okay,
about the availability for a new public access channel in Ukraine, about a certain celebrity host in Wadsworth that might have the initials JP. Now, I can't confirm that happened, but I can't confirm it didn't either.
Okay, so it all started with the tuna fish sandwich and a box of Ho-Hos.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who'd have thought? That might come out in today's hearing.
Yeah, you never know. But thank you to our viewers, our loyal viewers. Yeah. So today we are here with the beautiful Summer Costanzo.
Hi.
Yeah.
Good morning.
And we became friends this year, which has been a true bonus. And good morning, Summer.
Good morning.
And the reason that we became friends was that she visited the chamber and said, I would like to join with her business, which happens to be Wadsworth Tavern in the south on Main Street.
Yep.
Kind of down the hill.
Right
down
at the bottom of the hill.
Bottom of the hill. So tell us about the Wadsworth Tavern. First of all, I always like to know a backstory.
Sure.
Like, how did you decide to get into the Wadsworth Tavern business?
Well, I was the general manager for 69 Taps, which had a location up on the north end. And as they had sort of decided to get out of the bar business, I saw an opportunity with Marie's sitting vacant and always had wanted to own my own business to sort of purchase their assets and license. And I had never been to Wadsworth prior to coming out here to work. But I had such a good experience up there and met so many just amazing people, and I really loved the city, and I had a very young, fresh family at the time, and I just thought this would be an amazing place to raise my kids. This town reminds me of the towns that I grew up reading about in my books, just a great place that you could bike around and it was safe. So as the opportunity presented itself, I thought the South End really needs somewhere nice, like somewhere that you could go and have a beer and a sandwich and watch a game and be comfortable. And so that's what we did. Got a hold of the Lintzes and moved into to the old Marie's building and completely renovated it. It was a gut job down to the studs, and we got it open. Fastest bar build I ever did. I built 3 bars. That was the fastest. We got it done in 9 months. And opened up actually on November 12th of 2012. So we've been open for 7 years.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we made it.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Once
awesome.
you get past 5, you're good.
Well, that's excellent.
I mean, we've put in a kitchen, we've put in a patio, just done a lot of upgrades to the building. So.
I got to say that generally when Janie starts a story with "we became friends," it involves someone bringing her a free margarita. So I'm impressed that you actually accomplished that without it.
Yeah, you did.
But what are you known for? You think down at Wadsworth Tavern? What would be your specialty?
I think that the biggest thing that we're known for is atmosphere. We are the kind of place where if you don't know anybody, you will in 5 minutes. We are very friendly, just a very open and inviting atmosphere. And, we really work hard to maintain that and to not have, too many problems that can sometimes be associated with the bar business.
Okay.
If you're talking about food and drinks, I think our prices are key. Our craft beer selection is on point. We carry anywhere from 150 to 200 labels at any given time. And our homemade soups are probably the biggest food item that flies off. I mean, all of our soups are homemade. They are amazing.
Well, we know you had an open house for us at the Chamber. We came down there, and I have to agree with you. The food was spectacular.
Thank
the
you.
soups were very
Thank you.
good, as well as the sandwiches, and obviously the drinks are fine as well.
Yep, we do what we can.
Yeah. So one thing that I've noticed about Wadsworth Tavern, it's always pristine.
Yes.
Everything is clean inside and outside, and I think I think that's such a draw when you go into especially a restaurant, and you go in and everything is so nice and neat and clean. The outside is very, very manicured. And
Well, I definitely have to give a lot of that credit to my staff. I mean, they bend over backwards to keep that place looking nice. Very rarely do I have to really tell anybody anything. I mean, they do a great job.
oh my gosh, I love that because it's so welcoming when you go in too.
Well, and I invite anybody to look up our health department reports. Our inspections, we might get one or two little things off, but we certainly, I know some places around here kind of struggle with the health department, but my goal is to have the plaque. I want that plaque.
Okay.
It is a very welcoming place, and you're right,
Yes.
right down to your staff, who makes you feel like you're at home when you're
Thank
there.
you.
How many people do you employ?
Anywhere from 6 to 10, depending on the season. 5 to 6 is kind of a bare bones summer staff, and then we try to swell up to 8 or 10 in the wintertime. It's very important to me as an employer that if somebody gets sick, that they are able to stay home. We do offer a maternity leave. Well, it's actually family leave, depending on what gender the person is.
Sure.
It's important to us to support the parents that work for us so that they can not only make a good living, but be able to be with their kids. Coming up in the bar business, it wasn't always that option for me. So we pay, a good rate, and we do have family leave, and I'm working on building some kind of a paid sick leave so that it's hard with tips. But, the last thing that I ever want is somebody in there sick or I have to work, I can't make rent. No, that's not something that we want to have, So we make sure, especially through flu season, that we have the staffing to be able to so that our staff can go home. I don't want you serving food if you're sick.
And we so appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Right, right.
It's
Yeah,
great to
right.
hear a private business going about on their own, doing something
Well,
like that.
I mean,
What started your belief in?
Being a single mom and working, my whole life and not having employers that felt that way.
Okay.
Also, I feel like a lot of the stress in our society is brought by the, I call it late stage capitalism. That drive to always push your employees to be the most productive for the least amount of money. That's a terrible psychological kind of idea. You need to be able to support your staff. If you support your staff, they will be loyal. In the bar business, probably theft and misbehavior are probably the two biggest issues. But, amazingly, if you treat your staff well and pay them well, you probably won't have as many of those problems. Okay. And I mean, I have one of the highest, I think, employee retention rates of most bar owners. I mean, my girls have been there, one girl's been there 4 years, 2 years. And I have people who work before, maybe leave to go start a family or do school, and then they come back. I mean, so I think it's working.
Well,
I think it's working.
Yeah, it is.
You're still here.
Right,
Yeah.
right. We're
Yeah.
still.
So tell us about one of the things that I know that you've worked really hard on is the misbehavior, like trying to put things in place so that people feel safe when they come in.
And not by any means to ever say anything negative about our area, because I love the South End, and the people that I met on the South End are some of the nicest, most giving, solid people ever. However, because there's been a lack of really professional establishments down there, I think some of the citizens sort of had feelings that they could behave however they wanted.
Okay.
And some bars might tolerate that because they're scared of their bottom line. I'd rather sit empty than have somebody who is insulting or you know, doing property destruction or yelling. You know, I'd rather be empty than have that customer. So we don't bow down to the critics. If you're acting, you know, in a certain way, you're out. And I have people who have been banned for years, and they might complain about it, but whatever you did to get banned was bad enough that I don't want you back. And that's it. And that's how we keep that atmosphere, you know, keep good people, get rid of the bad apples. And that's how it has to be. And thankfully, we've had a huge support from Wadsworth Police Department. If it wasn't for them and them being right there when we call them and being really helpful with removing whatever problems, you know, it'd be an uphill battle, but thankfully the police are definitely hugely supportive. Yeah, and that matters.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would guess it was probably tougher at the beginning, but once you set that expectation and
The
follow through with it.
first 3 years were rough. Yep. The first 3 years were rough. And, you know, it is a bar. Every once in a while you'll still get a little bit, but it is a neighborhood bar and people understand. You know, they listen the first time.
Oh, and you've done a lot of training, though, with your staff.
We do. We have tips come in from Columbus at least once a year. That's the liquor liability, you know, guys from liquor control. So they come in and give, you know, a presentation at least once a year, update us on, like, when the new IDs came out, we had to know about that, and what the new liquor laws are out of Columbus. And then we also send everybody out for health department training. So everybody within 6 months of getting hired gets at least a level 2 certification that we pay for from the health department. So,
boy, that's amazing.
That is.
I mean, that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
You know, especially with what, you know, we opened that bar right at the peak of the opiate epidemic, and it was and that took a lot out of us too. A lot of good, healthy customers wound up kind of going by the wayside because of their troubles with that, and so that was definitely something we had to make sure that we had a handle on, you know.
Well, we give you a lot of credit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, seriously, because, you know, especially when you open a business, you're on your own. Bottom line is everything. Yeah, and so you really appreciate somebody who bottom line is everything, because you can't stay open if you don't have the money. Yeah. However, the reputation that you're building and have built already is stellar.
Well, you know, I used to have arguments with the owners that I used to work for who were very conservative, old school bar owners, and they didn't care. Staff to them was recyclable, it was replaceable. You know, one bar owner didn't pay anybody anything. You didn't make any money, you only made tips. That is unacceptable. That's an unacceptable way to do business in 2019. And yes, does it, I guess, take away from my bottom line at the end, all these extra perks? I guess it does, but at the same time, I can sleep at night. I can go to bed knowing that I'm not taking advantage of people and that I'm providing the best area that I can to also, like, to keep some of your kids safe. You know, some of you guys have kids that are old enough to drink, and I want to make sure that our atmosphere is safe enough to keep them safe. You can go out, you can have some drinks, you can have a sandwich, you can have a good time, and you're going to make it home. And that's it.
And you're not living for your business. You can actually.
Oh no, I live for that business. I'm there every day.
But it does. I guess what I'm saying is it gives you peace of mind if you have continuity amongst your employees that you can step away when you want to.
That's true, but I've never taken a vacation in 7 years that was more than a day's drive away from the bar, and I probably will not. I don't go to Florida. Yeah, I go to Hershey, Pennsylvania. That's where we go. So I mean, it does take a fair amount of oversight. But again, I'd rather do the work and go to bed knowing ethically I'm on, you know, hopefully the right side of things. So we all have to answer to our maker someday.
That's right. Okay, so tell us, what's your favorite thing in the food-wise to serve?
My favorite, I love the fried green beans. And if I'm feeling it, that, you know, sometimes you have special times where you need a little extra. I love them fully loaded, which is with the hot nacho cheese and bacon bits on top, which completely eliminates the health factor of the green beans, I know. Yeah. But it's delicious. And the other, our wings. I will stand our wings up to anybody. They might take a little longer to get to the table, but our wings are amazing.
Yeah. I don't mean to interject too much on the healthiness of green beans, but I've got to believe that frying them also impacts the ability for them to be too healthy.
Well, thankfully they're baked.
Okay, all right. Do they have a coating on them?
They do have a breadcrumb coating.
Okay.
Sounds delicious.
So maybe not carb friendly, but delicious.
Yeah. Well, tell us some of the things that you do serve. I mean, we know you have a full bar.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And do you have a drink special every day?
We do. We have a happy hour special on draft, which knocks I think it's 50 cents off a draft. My cocktail manager, Sam Ermos, every month does a shot of the month and a drink of the month. And then we can also sometimes, like for the summer, we do these shark bites that come in a fish bowl, and they're blue and they have some extra stuff. So she gets really creative with that stuff. But every month we have changing specials. We have a shot, a drink, and a beer of the month.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Okay, so the food. Tell us about some of the foods that you serve.
So on Mondays, one of our customer favorite days is we do a steak dinner and trivia. We have Cleveland Awesome Trivia come down and they do the game. They've been doing it for 3 years now. It's very popular. And we serve an 8-ounce sirloin, salad roll, and your choice of potato or coleslaw. It's a huge plate and it's only $7.50. So that's our Monday special. Our pulled pork sandwiches, Krista, my kitchen manager, Krista does. Our pulled pork, it's not smoked, I'm sorry. We cook it for almost 10 hours and then, package it and freeze it for individual sandwiches, and that is delicious. I mean, the loaded potato skins are good. Crab cake BLT is crazy. Our soups are all handmade either by Krista or myself. Our loaded baked potato has 2 quarts of cream in it. 2 quarts. Delicious. And that is vegetarian because we use like a fake bacon just to make it vegetarian. We do try to honor vegan and vegetarian diets. We have several items on the menu that are okay for both.
Wow.
Because
Very
we do
nice.
serve, we serve a younger crowd and those health concerns are definitely important. I would love to move into a more vegetarian arena. In the next couple years, if I could do a predominantly vegetarian bar food menu, all from scratch, I would definitely do that. I would love to do that.
Oh,
And I think that's something different that Wadsworth doesn't have.
It'd be very
you
unique.
know?
There's no
Yep.
question about it.
Yep. That way you could, if you want, you could get your grilled meat up on the square and then come down for us for vegetarian,
Very nice. So tell us, where do you see the bar going? Because I know you're talking about rolling out your spring menu.
As of this, right now, we're kind of just stabilized for the holidays. Come late January, Krista and I are going to work together on a menu. She has a side business called Blistering Pig Farms that does salts and jams and jellies and different meat marinades. So I definitely want to incorporate what she and her husband are doing with what we're doing and maybe sort of merge businesses.
Okay.
So definitely we're going to be looking at adding that to some of the sandwiches or maybe creating some new sandwiches. The gift pack I got for you guys, there's a tomato basil jam. And that on a grilled provolone cheese sandwich, it's amazing. So we're going to be adding, maybe some stuff like that. Yep, but eventually I think we're going to wind up going more the food route and less booze.
Okay.
I think that's the best way to maybe get a Florida vacation sometime. As much as I love owning a bar, alcohol brings problems. And I would definitely like to increase our food sales, I think, and do a more restaurant-y sort of atmosphere.
Now, you've seen, I'm sure, a lot of changes since you've been there.
Yep.
From a drink standpoint or a food standpoint, have you noticed a real substantial shift from one thing to another that you sell a lot more of or less of?
White Claw. Those White Claw seltzers that debuted this summer, they took a lot out of the craft beer market. And I was very surprised. I actually serve a lot more of the liquor cocktails. We build like a liquor light menu. They don't have as much alcohol in them, but they're really good tasting drinks. Mm-hmm. We serve a lot more of those than we serve beer. Okay. And now I think this winter gin is going to be the big thing. Gin is becoming very trendy. So.
See, I'm so focused. I'm focused on cosmopolitans and margaritas.
I love a good Cosmo.
Oh,
so good.
boy.
Try it with citrus vodka. It'll change your life.
Okay. It already has. So one time you and I were talking about what would be your dream. And of course we talked about the vegetarian and the vegan. And you were thinking maybe going into a bigger place or...
I was at that time. However, I've had some personal life changes, and I'm very much on my own these days with just the kids, and I don't think that I could put the quality in as a single person. to a second location. I think it's best to build on what I've already accomplished and just continue in the path that I'm at. So Tavern's it. Tavern's my home till retirement.
Okay, good deal. Tell us about your family.
Unless somebody wants to partner up.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah.
So I have 2 children. We live on Broad Street, and my daughter goes to Overlook. My son goes to CIS, Joey and Sophie, and they are, they're the best thing I ever did. They are the reason that all of this exists.
Yeah.
If I was on my own, I'd probably be a beach bum, you know?
You'd be on that Florida beach.
Yeah.
Probably, right.
nothing
But,
wrong
or
with
like
that.
following fish, you know, or
Yeah.
something. But no, they are the reason I moved here, and it was a good decision. They're just flourishing in the schools, and I'm actually taking my daughter and 10 of her friends to see Frozen 2 at Great Oaks tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
You know, and they give me such a great opportunity to, like, I participated in Joey's STEM club last year, and there's so many chances to volunteer at the schools, and I think that's great. You know, the schools really work to get the parents involved, and I think that's wonderful.
Oh, and one of the things that we also talked about was that you're hoping that because of your cleanliness and your welcoming and just everything, that other businesses will want to come in and join you in that same type of mindset.
I mean, I'd love to sit down, you know, and maybe develop a South End business owners coalition or something like that. I think that the citizens of the South End deserve better than what we've given them, you know, the last few years. And there's no question that there's not economics down there with St. Edward's opening. I mean, there's $250,000 houses a quarter mile from my bar. The demographics are there. The money is there. The people are there. It's just getting the businesses to serve them appropriately.
Boy, like a coalition would be great.
Well, I mean, really, if you look at it, you've got municipal parking and 3 liquor licenses. You have an entertainment district.
That's true.
It's there. The bones of it are there.
And you have a couple main roads that come in there, so.
And you've got the matchstick factory, which largely sits, you know, they don't do a lot with it, but that in itself could be a whole neighborhood, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, you could do an art fair down there in the parking lot of across the street and the other side of the matchstick factory, which would be a great addendum to the farmer's market, you know, that you already have. And it's just a question of Main Street expanding down the hill, you know, and it's going to happen. I mean, it's no question. I'd love to get over and do something with the grocery store and turn it into more prep foods, gourmet foods, stuff that people could stop on the way home, grab some mashed potatoes and some chicken breast. You know,
Yeah.
kind of like what Giant Eagle has going on there, but more, you know, artisanal, more handmade. I think that'd be a great move for Hometown Market. Not that I'm trying to tell people what to do, but I've had 7 years to sit here and think about this.
Yeah, sure. Maybe something like a Trader Joe's or...
Sure, but locally owned and operated.
Yeah.
Yep. I love that Wadsworth really focuses on private small business, less so than the chains. And I definitely think that should keep going.
I think it gives back a lot more to the community.
Absolutely.
And when you're vested in the community like you are, you do care about your employees, and you do spend not only the time but the money to make sure that they're taken care of and the community is.
Right. Well, you know, that was like my grandparents' generation's attitude. You know, you went to a company, like my grandpa worked for Copperweld. You stayed there for 25 years, you got regular raises and promotions, and when you left, you got a pension. Now, Copperweld got sold, you know, in the 90s, and the pensions, as with many steel mills, dried up. But that was how it was, you know, back when they say, make America great again. Yeah. Well, you know, that's the greatness that I'm looking for. Employers caring about their employees in the manner that they should, not this blatant capitalistic approach that we went through in the 90s.
I think that
and look
that
at the disruption of the
happening
families.
Now.
You know, look at the destruction of the families when you forced both parents to go to work, when it became economically necessary. Come on.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. We're almost out of time, but I want you to tell them about your Christmas party coming up.
Okay, so the 21st, we are having the Tavern Christmas party. And, you know, you wear an ugly sweater, and we will be having a drawing around 11 o'clock. We'll have like a crowd vote to see if you want to enter who has the worst sweater. I'll be doing a free platter. You know, there'll be finger foods, you know, on the house and some fancy Christmas drinks. And karaoke. Who doesn't love karaoke?
I can't imagine anybody wouldn't. Yeah.
We're also doing a food drive right now
Okay.
for Harvest for Hunger. So if you do stop in, drop off a canned good. That would be awesome. Or diapers, or feminine hygiene products, or soap, toothbrushes, anything that you think somebody who's down on their luck might need, they will accept.
And how long are you doing that?
We'll be doing that till the 21st. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, Summer Costanzo, I love the way you think.
Thank you.
I absolutely love your philosophy, your ethics. We're very lucky to have you here in Wadsworth.
I'm lucky to be here in a community that cares, about everybody. So I feel the same.
It's great to hear your passion in the way that you not only have that passion, but maybe wear your heart on your sleeve, but you show it and you walk the walk, which is great to see.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, Michael, it's time for you to sign us out.
Are you sure I'm still allowed to since you got this big award
I'm a
yesterday?
wiener. Yep.
Well, thank you again, Summer, and for my beautiful co-host and award-winning co-host. Have a great week, Wadsworth.